Hey, you guys, this is Kevin with G.F.E, God, Family, and Everything Else podcast. And today I have the honor and the opportunity to speak with an old friend of mine that lives in Seattle. He is the owner and the creator of his own business called Creative Block. This is where he allows many people to rent out his space, and then he also does a lot of events is there as well. So this is just an opportunity for me to go ahead and catch up with him, speak with him about his business, how he got things started, and also learn from it. And hopefully you all can learn from this as well. So go ahead, sit back, and enjoy the show.
Can't believe that. Can you see
Yeah.
me?
Yep.
So
Cool.
I'm not in the studio because someone's renting it right now.
Oh, number. Okay.
So that's my
Uh,
bad. I took a photo of it just in case
yeah.
because behind me is my nasty ass dirty house. So
No, it's all good. It's funny because last night I was telling my buddy here. He's American, and I was telling him that I was meeting with you, and I was explaining everything about what you do because he's a business owner here too. He has his own English school,
okay.
and so I was explaining to him about meeting with you and everything that you've done that I know about. But and then I was showing him some of your photos and stuff on Facebook and Instagram. So he was excited until once this video's over, he's excited to watch because he was like, "Oh, I gotta learn some more." So
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah. So but yeah, no, this I started this podcast because, well, one, I felt like I had a lot on my mind that I felt like I wanted to share, and then at the same time, I really want to get to know a lot of other people out there with different backgrounds, and
Yeah.
it comes with family, business, their faith, also, and what I'm looking for, because I'm not looking for anyone that is on the same belief system as me. Is just good for me to meet with people that have different beliefs or different backgrounds, and so I can learn from them, they can learn from me, just
Yeah.
something like that. But why I wanted to talk with you is because since I just started this, like, just following and seeing everything that you're doing has continued well have made me a believer, meaning that if I just continue putting in the work, then it will definitely flourish like what you're doing.
Yeah.
uh but I wanted to kind of pick your mind and then just also ask you some questions about it and a little bit about yourself. And what I think is cool is that correct me if I'm wrong, that this is you built this also like with your family.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's actually my daughter and I. That studio in this photo behind me
Yeah.
is our studio, and of course my wife and the other kids also help us, manage it, clean it, all that kind of stuff. So it is pretty family oriented, especially because I ask my other kids that are not in photography or videography to help out wherever they can, and they got the basics just from being around us of like how to, use a camera and media stuff, all that
Right.
kind of. Yeah.
That's cool. Now, if you don't mind explaining, like, because I know you and I worked at Nordstrom together, um, but can you kind of give a little bit about like why you left, and then has Creative Block always been like a dream of yours, or?
So I worked at Nordstrom for 23 years, and then all of a sudden COVID came and laid a bunch of us off. So from there, it was really like I actually had an idea what I wanted to do already, what I wanted to try. I thought, all right, let me go look for another position somewhere else similar to what I had at Nordstrom. But I realized I didn't actually want to do that. I felt like there was some creative stuff that I wanted to do that I just didn't know. I guess I needed the push, and that the whole COVID pandemic thing really, it forced the issue. And we were thankfully given a severance package. So without that, I wouldn't be doing any of this, to be honest. Like,
Oh.
COVID was a blessing. And
Right.
I mean, sorry for those that actually had, fatalities or serious illnesses. My family got sick. I didn't get sick, but yeah, things changed for my career. Um, things changed quite a bit. Um, I wouldn't have the studio behind me if I would have been still at Nordstrom or doing something similar to. So
Yeah.
yeah, the studio is, again, a partnership between my daughter and I. She's the photographer, I'm the videographer. We have our own separate businesses, but our headquarters is Creative Block, and we use that as our spaces to do work, but we also rent it out for other creatives. So yeah.
That's actually, you said almost exactly what I was explaining to my friend Neil last night. I said that you started it with your daughter. Your daughter's a photographer, and I was showing some of the photos to him. And then I said you're more like media videographer, and that you guys came together, created this business. And then he was like, "What, does he rent it out or anything?" I was like, "I believe so." And so I started showing him the photos and all the events and stuff that you were hosting there. And so it's definitely inspiring. And then so I just wanted to say that I think it's awesome to see, and especially how far it's come.
I mean, you and I were trying to start vlogging and stuff, and
Yeah.
I honestly thought, so many folks that I've seen have made it just vlogging, and I think we were in a place where we thought we could do that. And I mean, no, I mean, like, we were excited to do that and have it flourish, and then we just never got, I know I didn't get the same traction that I thought. But then I realized, why don't I just continue putting videos out that I want to do? Who cares about the views? The views will come whenever. And even if they don't, like, I had to maybe brainwash myself or really change my mentality and say, I'm doing this because I like it, not because of the views. Right? I like filming stuff and actually learned a lot. And then I think what happened was people saw that I was vlogging and stuff like that. And then they said, where the video business came from was someone asked me to create a video because they saw, for their business, because they saw I was just doing a bunch of random things. And so that's when I said, why don't I just get my business license, see what happens with it.
That, yeah. And look what happened now.
And the pandemic happened, and I said, I'm going for it. Let's do this. Let's get some clients. I have a network of people that want videos, and real estate happened to be just completely bumping during the pandemic. And so the Nordstrom, ex-Nordstrom folks that went to real estate, they said, hey, why don't you make videos for me too? And and that just got me going and going, and just kept going. And then my portfolio just all of a sudden in 2 years was like packed. So I actually had samples to show people.
That's crazy. I mean, like you're saying, it was a blessing, and I can say the same thing too. When I was let go at Nordstrom, it was shortly after they did that massive, I think 700 people, and then I survived through that. And then I think about 2 to 3 months after that, then they were like, "Hey, Kevin," I'm like, "Ah." So I'm thinking to myself, like, what am I gonna do? But then, of course, life happened, and then it brought us here, which I'm actually really thankful for. Because if I was never let go, I don't believe I would have, one, started this channel, or two, been in Japan currently. So I'm with you on. I believe it was a blessing as well. And I'm on that same mindset too. Because with this channel, that's the reason why I started this podcast. Because I told myself that. Because my son always asks me, like, how many subscribers or how many views and stuff. And I told myself, it's not about that, because if I worried about that, I would drive myself crazy. It's more about, like you said, enjoying it and putting out what you want to put out. And yeah, what I put out is not taken as the most popular thing to talk about. But again, I enjoy doing it. And if anyone or at least one person is affected by it positively, then I feel like I'm doing my job.
That's a game.
Yeah,
I think that's a win.
Yeah, and if I just stay consistent with it, I believe it'll take me where I hope. But yeah, and so that's why I like meeting with business owners such as yourself, because it's inspiring. So thank you. Mask, what vision do you have for creative block, if I may ask?
So I didn't know I was going to own a studio. Again, it was why we opened a studio is because my daughter was the one renting from all these different places throughout Seattle, and we were lugging gear and we were lugging a bunch of stuff, and she was spending money, or whoever else was spending money, whoever else was making money off of rental studios. And in the pandemic, people were moving away from Seattle, so the costs, they were going down for folks, or offices were opening up, spaces were opening up, and landlords and owners were wondering how they were going to get tenants. And so we jumped in and said, hey, we'll try, because we need a space to set up our lights and not have to worry about sound and controlled lighting. And so I asked one of my friends to see if there's a space in his building, and we'll try for like 6 months.
Right.
And some of my severance package money was like, hey, I'll give you this amount of money, we're gonna try to make it up on our own, but here's all this money, give us 6 months. And then I don't know where no one knew where the pandemic was gonna go. Were people
Right.
gonna come back, or
Yeah.
So we just finished our 2 years, and and yeah, so it went by really fast, and we signed another 2-year agreement. And the studio, like right now, someone is there partying up. Right? This is obviously an image of a photo I just took today, but people are renting the studio for their parties, for their music videos, for their photos. And so I feel like we can do this again in another place. And I was thinking maybe another city like Portland, just not pie in the sky, but like reality is I could open another spot and just have the same formula.
Right.
I think it should really be close by so I can manage it.
Right.
Probably do another 2 more and then see about another city if it works. And I feel like we're busy enough to where I can probably say, hey, let's try a different neighborhood in Seattle, or maybe like South Seattle somewhere, open up a space that people can, there's a lot of opportunity still out there. So I think Creative Block expanding to the next, another Creative Block.
And where's your current studio right now? Is it about like real close to where you currently live?
Yeah, so we're so in Seattle, I'm just going to explain for people that don't know. In Seattle, there's the I-90 bridge,
Mm-hmm.
and the I-90 bridge is kind of it goes right to the heart of Seattle. Like if you're coming from the east, it goes right to I'm going to say Lumen Field, where the Seahawks play, and it goes under us.
Oh.
So we're right on top of I-90, over the tunnel, and in Seattle. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's not too far from the Asian market, right?
Yep. we're really close to I guess you could say we're close to the International District and stuff like that. Yeah. Just off of Jackson.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, so we're centralized. My house is only 0.7 miles away, so I can walk. At times I will walk. Most of the time I'm carrying a bunch of gear with me because I don't like to leave it at the studio, or I've got my cameras with me. I might have to take it out in a shoot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on a nice day I'll walk over, or bike over.
Right.
It's really, really nice and convenient. Yeah.
And I mean, the fact that you and your daughter were able to keep this business afloat during the pandemic, and then like you just mentioned, signing another 2-year lease, during that process or during that time, you were also going through personal family issue, which I believe, is everything okay now, or?
Yeah, so actually right before the pandemic, I was battling cancer. And then
Right. That when I saw that, I was like, oh crap.
yeah, I took 2019, and basically for 9 months I was in and out of the hospital, doing like chemotherapy and all that kind of stuff. And as you know, right, we were in the gym a lot. I was very active, and
Yeah.
and I somewhat ate healthy, and maybe not, but cancer just can get anybody.
Yeah.
And then this past in 2022, my wife battled cancer. So both of us, it's everywhere. Cancer is everywhere.
But
Yeah,
then
so
dealing with that and then being able to run a business, like, was it pretty challenging? I mean, honestly, I believe it was, but like, how difficult was it to balance the two?
I'm gonna say, I think just having a business is already challenging.
Mm.
To actually to have an excuse to put it down and say, "Oh, I got family first." It was actually nice to just say, "I got to be at the hospital." Forget everything. Forget this. Close the laptop. Go to the hospital. Be with the family. Take care of the family. Take care of your wife. Blah blah blah. I did during my cancer battle have the laptop open at the chemo appointments and stuff like that, but I had to tell myself, why don't I just watch a movie? Like,
Uh,
dude, don't do this.
yeah.
You don't have to work, right? Especially because I was working for Nordstrom. But yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
was editing videos.
You were editing videos?
Yeah, while I was like had the chemotherapy going through my port here, and I
Uh,
was just trying to get it done, and then I just closed the laptop. I'm like, man, this is exhausting, and I don't care right now.
um, also, so like my son, he currently plays he plays football here, just flag football, because obviously in Japan football is not really a big sport. But he's to the age where he's starting to explore a lot more and playing. Now his interest is basketball, and I see that you're doing a lot of videos and editing with basketball. So do you have like a team or like a contract with the school or something? Because I see that you're doing a lot for in that field.
Yeah, well, having kids, not only so I have friends that have kids that are currently playing sports, and so those friends from like my high school days, they're hiring me to film their kids' scouting videos, their basketball videos. For the most part, I have not done any football or anything like that, or any other sports. Maybe a track video.
Mm.
I just don't know what to do with those track videos. Like, what do you want? Like, they're gonna run. It's gonna be like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I see that clip somewhere, but to compile those. But I have numerous basketball scouting videos that I've created, and basically what those people do is they take them and they send them to coaches, send to college coaches, to prep school coaches, just recruiting stuff. And then I do have my own basketball team, which I just make highlight reels for kids, because kids love that stuff today. If you think about like how social media is just so big, like my son just joined Instagram and he's asking me for all his highlight reels.
Oh.
Like, I'm getting tired of actually filming them because I actually want to watch him play, not my eye behind a lens.
Right.
But to miss out on capturing those moments where my nephew crosses somebody up, or my son throws a dime or whatever, and it's not captured, I can only talk about it.
Right.
It's kind of nice. And at the same time, I do get other parents and stuff like that want, like, hey, I saw your video on your team or whatever, and would you film our team, or something like that. Yeah.
See, that's crazy. I mean, like it seems like you can video almost, or you're being hired to do a whole lot. I've seen like with food, sports. Yeah, I've seen the videos that you've helped with Kate, which I think Kate's doing great from what I've seen. You guys, when you guys partnered, so it's definitely matches for what your business creative block. It's just whatever I guess is in the imagination you try to make happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's creative, so there's no rules.
Right.
You can do a video on drilling a hole and you know make it fun. Um, Tomorrow at 4 a.m. I have to be at the airport because I'm filming uh, Garfield High School's grad night, and we're
Oh,
going to Disneyland tomorrow with them.
are you
So
serious?
yeah, they're paying me to go to Disneyland with
Ooh.
them to film their experience. And then because Disney and all the other amusement parks down in Southern California, they do a grad night for all the seniors.
Mm.
And so Garfield is sending all their seniors down there. They're gonna in the daytime go to Disneyland, and then at nighttime the actual grad night starts, and it's in California Adventures.
Yeah.
So I get to be there. They paid me to,
That's
yeah,
wow.
yeah. And earlier this month, or I'm sorry, earlier this year in February, I was just
Mm.
actually in Washington D.C.
Yeah, I
Uh,
saw that. I saw that.
yeah, and then we went to Alabama, and then after that we went to Atlanta, and I filmed 18 kids experience the Civil Rights Trail, um, and watch. You know, we went to different museums and we learned all about Black history, American Black history, and how basically America was built on slavery and all that
Mm.
stuff.
Yeah.
Not only was it an honor to be paid, you know, to participate and capture this, but I actually learned a lot myself, more than I ever thought there was on slavery and how America was built and everything. So
That's
all of
value in
this,
itself. I mean, more than money.
yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna say that, like I said, if I was still at Nordstrom, I would have been in front of a computer dealing with. My last job was somewhat of a help desk situation. I was dealing with problems, you know, with merchandising apps and stuff like that. And I would complain to my my boss and say, "Hey, our job is to deal with problems, and it's really weighing on me. I'm so tired of people coming to me with problems, and I need a break from it and all that stuff." It was really wearing on me. And then this creative thing came, and I have been everywhere throughout the city that I never thought. Throughout this Western Washington, I got sent down to Southern California to film a wedding. um,
Wow.
yeah, it's just been such a blessing to do this gig. And I'm 45 years old, and I spent 23 years working for someone else, building their business, and I was just sitting behind a desk. And nothing against all that,
Right.
but I felt like I could have maybe done this earlier in my life.
You and I are on the same page on that. I'm 40, and where I currently work right now, I actually was speaking with my wife about that. How I said, well, I don't know how much longer I can do this, because my passion is obviously in this podcast because I want it to grow. I want to be able to expand what I know and share with other people, and as far as like the gospel and what my beliefs are. And even if people disagree with me, it's just that it gives me the opportunity to meet them, to talk with them, to learn from them. And this is where my passion, my heart is. I thought it was when you and I partnered up on doing the Malayan Athletics. I thought it was about fitness. Like I really still do enjoy fitness. I go every day still, whatnot. But it started to turn into something that I didn't want it to, and I realized, I just want to be healthy for my family. I just want to be there. This whole like image on trying to look like the beach body and all that is not my goal. It's just more being healthy and being fit and being there for my family. And I've had a burning desire in my heart to just continue learning about my faith in God and then reading the Bible and then sharing it. And so I'm like, okay, how can I do that? Oh, why don't I just start a podcast and just, do that and then see where it takes me. And where I'm currently at right now, work-wise, is I'm helping students to learn English. I enjoy that, but it's not what I see myself doing in the long run. I want to
Yeah.
do this. I want to
Yeah.
meet people. I want to be able to go travel and sit down and then talk with other individuals as well. So that's the goal, and that's why I'm trying to build this. So just hearing what you said, I mean, having your business for Creative Block, and then all the places you've been and all the things that you've learned along your journey is inspiring, and knowing that if you just continue putting in the work, it can happen. So
Yeah. And genuinely, like, wanting to, in the case of your podcast, like genuinely wanting to talk to some folks and ask them real questions, and not just, not just from a list of things, but it's like, oh, we're having a real conversation because I'm genuinely interested.
yeah,
And it sounds like that, you've got something you're excited about. That's the major thing. Is like, gee, you're excited to do it because you'll wake up in the morning every day, you know, ready to, hit up that next person for your setting up your next podcast conversation.
yeah. I mean, I've been shot down a few times because I know some people don't want to be able to openly speak on things because I think they're afraid about their position or being the way that they're perceived, which, I don't push it. I'm like, okay, I respect that, no problem. For me, I'll openly share my thoughts, but in a respectful manner, of course, because I'm not here to cause any rifts. But I'm not afraid to share what I believe, but I want to hear what other people believe as well.
Sure.
And with that being said, like while you started this business, has your mind, like, creatively, I mean, I'll say, like, with media and editing and all that, has that, like, completely expanded? Now you just, like, I don't know what else can I do, or I've learned so much than I did before, because I noticed with this, I find from the moment I start to the moment I finish, I enjoy every aspect of it, and as far as editing or even like for, graphics, all that.
Has it
Yeah,
expanded?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've learned a lot. My eye just continues to grow. I critique way different from, and not just my own stuff, but like, I'll watch movies and be like, oh, that's a nice cowboy shot, or, how did they get that shot? Like, how did they get to continuously go through the hole without, moving? Also to get a little camera, all the little things. I watch things different nowadays, and so I apply those things that I've learned and what I see today in my video productions. But not only that, like, I have to say I did learn a lot from Nordstrom, just all the different jobs. I'm sure you did the same, like how to, talk to people, how to manage a business, those kind of things. And then having my own business, my own video production, a creative business, I think the big thing for me was it's like, how do I explain it? How do I, because I have to feed my family too, like, how do you get compensated for something that's creative? And there's no like you buy these pair of glasses, this is what they're worth, but like a creative piece is, that's why there's like art pieces that are like thousands, and then there's art pieces for like 50. You're like, well, it's my value, this is what I put on it, right? How do you price that? That's the one thing that I'm continuously trying to learn. Like, all the gear that I bought, that's part of the cost. All the time spent learning, that's part of the cost. I think that's one of the things I'm still like trying to learn is my value.
Yeah.
The value of my work. Yeah. Expanded all the skills, and I'm still growing. Still definitely learning the value of my work. Yeah.
And I think that's important. I mean, like you said, you don't feel like you're there. There's still room. Huh? Yeah. Hold on one moment. Just a sec. Hold on, bud. What song? Sorry. Come here. Let's just take a moment. What song? Oh, here. Why don't you try to to find it with my phone. All right. Little man has a Switch, and whenever he finds music, he wants to download it. So
That's actually my next thing that I'm trying to grow is video game. I'm trying to grow the video game segment of Creative Block. Like I want people to rent it out to play video games in it.
I could only imagine how that will go.
Yeah, because we have an Xbox. We have two Xbox 360s. We have a Wii. We have an NES, and then we have the ability for anybody to bring their own system in.
Mhm.
And so I've already hosted like a few like video game parties, or
Yeah.
I have it as an add-on. I have those systems as an add-on for folks to rent. So I want to grow that even further.
I think it'll take off because what was it? Recently, we went to a festival where there's a mobile video game truck that comes around,
Yeah.
and
And they had like
yeah.
what all of them, right?
Yeah, they have all the system, PS5, the Xbox XS series or whatever. And all you do is you can actually call them up, rent them out, and host a party. And they just show up, and then you sit outside, and they just make a tent, and you just sit there and play.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So, how do you like when you log in? When you go in there, do you log in as yourself? Like, 'cause everybody has their own gamer tag, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they do that unless it's just probably a generic, guest tag. I'm not sure.
I like
But
that.
that would, I think that will take off because I've noticed that a lot of what I've noticed in the NFL, a lot of actually players are really big into esports.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is really big into it. I've noticed that what's his name for the Cardinals, the quarterback.
Yeah. Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray, yeah, is really big into that, and a few others that are trying to get and invest into that. So I think it will take off if you definitely dive into that.
I have to put a little bit more emphasis on it with your now that you're saying that.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because that's like their plan B because like football is not always going to be here, so might as well just look at some other business ventures. And so right now, I think that's why Kyler Murray and Tyreek Hill are really big into it.
Smart.
Yeah. What my question for you before I let you go is what, and I'm sure you touched on this throughout the conversation, but what kind of advice would you give for anyone that is actually looking, that is a real hesitant? And what I mean by hesitant, like financially, because they have a family, and when I mean family, I'm talking about me. So, like I definitely want to invest everything, but I just don't want to break the bank. But and I don't like playing it safe because I know if I always try to play it safe, it's not going to happen. I have to take a risk.
Yeah.
But what would you, for myself and others that are like-minded, what would you say?
It's hard because I actually was given the opportunity. I was given money. The pandemic gave us extra money.
Yeah.
We got the CARES Act that took care of our unemployment. So I don't have the same risk. It's kind of unfair. I can't really answer that question.
Oh, okay.
I want to tell you, just go for it, but I didn't have that same challenge, unfortunately. Yeah. So it wouldn't be right of me to actually tell you.
No, I respect that. No. Yeah, because we all have different hurdles, so I understand.
It definitely is gonna cost, and I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool because like I just wanted to pick your mind because again, like I understand there's you had the financial support, but again, from what I've seen, you did grow something from nothing, and then it's becoming and still continuing to grow and be something, and that's just inspiring to me. And so that's why I have in the back of my mind like all these ideas, but then again, I'm like, I don't want to just like break the bank because I have my family, but there has to come a point in time where I'm just like, I have to go all in and just have the faith and understand that sometimes things happen. I can't be safe all the time.
Actually, what I can tell you is that you don't have to go it alone.
Mm.
You can get people to invest, or you can get someone else to help pay and do a collab of some sorts.
Oh,
So people are down to partner and collab, and however many times it takes you to do that, just to get your portfolio, to get your collection of videos built up.
hmm
I would say there are friends, there are partners out there, and that's where the route I would go, because I've had numerous folks pay their portion to help certain projects that I didn't think I'd be able to fund or have the time for. So I can tell you that.
oh, okay, okay. So, and then it's funny you say that because I actually was thinking, my friend and I, we were thinking of starting like a meetup, um, in our community where we can learn from all different people that have different specialties and specialties in different fields. So I think that could definitely help we if we start something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely emphasis on getting friends and folks to partner.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, that concludes this meet. But I really do appreciate. Hopefully, this isn't the last time. I hope there's more to come. Like being real, that we can talk on a lot of other things as well, like sports and family and stuff. Um, but yeah, no, I really do appreciate you meeting with me, and I'm excited that this can be something.
Let's talk later. The next thing is, let's talk about how the Broncos are going to win the division. I feel like I think Russell was just messing around that last year, and he's about to kill it next year.
Now that he has Sean Payton and everything, but yeah, I really hope because when he came to the Broncos and then how everything, I didn't really want to buy in immediately because not everyone's like a Peyton Manning or Tom Brady where they just insert themselves into a new team and it just takes off. But Wilson, I was like, you know what? I'll just sit back and wait and see. And then, it started off all right, but then how I start seeing things are going, I'm like, okay, maybe this could just be a rough year for him. And then now we have the coach and the new staff, and I think he'll take off. And I do, and even though I mess around a lot with the Seahawks, I do hope Geno Smith balls out too.
Me too. I think he has it. I think he has it in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both of our squads will be talk of the town.
Yeah, hope so. Because I'm trying to make an Orange Friday here in Japan, but people just look at me weird. It's all right. But yeah, I'll let you go. But thank you again. And but yeah, I'll definitely reach out for more.
Do you still have your 206 number?
No, I don't. I have a 81 long number Japanese.
Well, then FB Messenger works.
Do you have a WhatsApp?
Yeah, I think. Actually, no, I don't. I'm not on it very much. So.
Oh, okay. But Messenger is fine with me if that's okay.
Yeah, that totally works.
Okay. All right. Well, have a good night, man. Thank you.
You too. Say regards. Now, I met your oldest, so tell him I said hi.
All right. All right.
All right. Peace.